Top tips to save energy in your home. The first one really is insulate your property well. If you can add loft insulation, if you can put double glazing in, that's the first thing you should do. That means whatever heat you do generate will be kept inside your property and not go straight outside.
Another tip for saving energy is TRVs, thermostatic radiator valves, in each room. Okay, they control that area with the temperature you require for that room. So i.e. a bedroom does not need to be 75 degrees. Okay, so you can turn that thermostatic radiator valve down, get it into the temperature you want. When you leave that room, shut the door behind you, so we're retaining that heat in that area. Really important tip.
Getting the boiler temperature right is really important, because why do you want to overheat your water only to have to cool it down? Now, Legionella regulations say you must store water at 60 degrees. So a boiler like this, a heat-only boiler, which is heating a cylinder, must be at above 60 degrees so your cylinder gets hot enough. But if you've got a combination boiler, you'll have two dials, one for hot water and one for heating. Now your hot water you can set to whatever temperature you want to, whatever's comfortable for you. Now your heating dial, the lower that you have it, the more money you'll save. And regulations have changed now so that effectively, if you had a heating system today, your rads would be no more than 55 degrees. So why not turn your boiler temperature down to around 55, 60 degrees? You'll get better efficiency, but you'll still be warm.
Another tip for efficiency is to check your radiators. So once you've got your heating system on, especially for the first time of the year, as we get a little bit further in, before the winter comes, let's get the heating system on. Let's go around them all and check the top of the radiators to make sure we haven't got any air in there. So obviously, if there's air in the top of a radiator, that's going to be a cool spot. Get your key and bleed the system and get all the air out of your system and make sure all the rads are nice and hot all over.
So depending on what type of system you've got will depend on what controls you have. Now, gone are the days where we had uncontrolled hot water and uncontrolled heating through a coal fire, for example. Now you've got real good control over your heating system. You might have a time clock, where you can control the times coming on and off. You might have individual thermostats. You might be controlling it off your smartphone. One thing for certain is you're going to be able to control the temperature and the times that you can have your heating on. So the best settings are the settings that suit you. If you want to have your heating on all day, you can, but I can tell you now that will cost you more money. The best time for having your heating on is when you're in the property, when you need it to be heated. There's no point in heating it unnecessarily. You might have different zones, so a thermostat upstairs and a thermostat downstairs. So why not have the thermostat upstairs a little bit cooler? You don't need to have your bedroom temperature up to 20, 25 degrees. 18 is the recommended temperature for a bedroom. Whereas downstairs you can have slightly hotter. That way you can control your whole house heating wise and save you money.
So your location of your thermostat, you could quite easily have 2 or 3 thermostats in your property. Downstairs, maybe in the hallway or the lounge, and upstairs on your landing, and again maybe up in the 3rd floor level if you have it. But positioning of that thermostat is key, and also as Ian mentioned, is maybe turning the top level down a little bit, because obviously heat will rise. So if you've got the temperature slightly warmer downstairs, any heat that does come away will come upstairs. So let's get that thermostat on the next level at a lower, about 18 degrees in, I think would be about right.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So one thing you can do to increase the efficiency of your system, if you've got a really old boiler, is change it. Now, I know that's expensive, but when you think about how much heat you pay for and how much heat you get, it may be beneficial. So you might have an old back boiler, maybe 60 to 70% efficient, and what that means is you're paying £1 and only getting 60 pence of heat, or maybe 70 pence of heat. Whereas this boiler, for every £1 you pay, you get 90 pence of heat. So it's gaining you efficiencies.
Not all the time we can change that boiler, okay? It's a big expense. So for me also, the beauty of the ADEY best practice and the retrofit piece here. Look, if you've got an existing system that's hasn't had a little bit of love, needs looking after, let's get the system magnet cleansed, let's get the water quality good, let's get a filter fitted, and hopefully then that system might be able to continue on for another couple of seasons until maybe we're in a better place to change the boiler. But what you can do is get that water quality right at a slightly lesser expense than a new boiler. But
it's a really good point, and that means that when you do change your boiler in the next year or year after, you're complying with Part L already.